The Will You Grow Show goes live Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern. To receive notifications, click the subscribe button beneath this video, or visit YouTube's Will You Grow channel to see more shows and videos. And now, here's Will You founder Angelique Medow with this week's Will You Grow Show.
Welcome to the Will You Grow Show. How are you? My name is Angelique, and I'm here to ignite your inner courage to liberate yourself from limitations. I'm the founder of Will You and WillYouGrow.com, an inspirational multimedia company that provides personal growth and joy through education, conversations, and adventures. Our weekly grow shows, like the one you're watching today, begin by tackling touchy subjects that'll tickle your tempestuous thoughts. Fan your eternal flame and salve your soul with hope. Halfway through, we'll take a 60-second look at what people have to say about us and share any new goodies that we've created just for you. Then we'll hear the crew's perspective and go hands-on to talk fun tips and tools to begin implementing today's lesson into your life. Here in the studio with me today are our audio aficionado, Ben.
It's me, the sound guy.
And our video Santa, Neil.
My red suit is at the cleaners. I will have it soon.
They help make this show happen while sharing their perfect personalities. Today's episode is brought to you by life and nature, who keep our hearts beating and our world turning. We say thank you to life, nature, and each and everyone who helps bring these shows to life. We also thank each and every viewer, and especially those who hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons today. We're grateful and glad that all of you are here. Now, on to today's episode. Are you claircognizant? Have you known when something was true, even when it defied logic? Do you sometimes know what will happen before it happens? If so, you may experience a type of intuitive, extrasensory perception called claircognizance. So, is claircognizance intuition? Yes, claircognizance is a form of intuition. 4 weeks ago, we talked in depth about intuition. So if you'd like more detailed information about that, check out that video. In general, intuition is a source of connection to all information. There are 4 main types and 7 total ways that we're aware of to receive intuition, also called extrasensory perception or ESP. They are clairsentience, which we talked about 3 weeks ago, which means clear feeling. Clairvoyance, which we discussed 2 weeks ago and means clear seeing. Clairaudience, which we discussed last week and means clear hearing. And claircognizance, which we'll discuss today. In the following Sundays, we'll also discuss the less commonly known forms of intuition called clairgustant, clairalient, and clairtangency. And we also have live group Zoom discussions about our experiences with these forms of intuition every Friday, and I'll share more about that in a bit. Intuition is important because each type of intuition is a means for us to receive vital information for survival, health, prosperity, and happiness of ourselves, others, and the world. When we know which forms of intuition are most prominent for us, we can tune our awareness to that wisdom and truth. This allows us to sense danger and opportunities, giving ourselves more peace, vitality, and freedom without requiring other people and things to aid or validate us. It's important to note that intuition and its varying forms are not just for the gifted people. These forms of intuition are the gifts for all of us. Truly, these are gifts for each and every one of us. But how good we are at receiving them is just a matter of whether or not we choose to be aware, be open to receive, accept it, and do something with it. So what is claircognizance? Claircognizance is psychic knowing. The word psychic, as defined by Merriam-Webster, is simply, quote, outside the spheres of physical science, unquote. And claircognizance, as defined by yourdictionary.com, is, quote, the ability for a person to acquire psychic knowledge without knowing how or why he or she knew it, unquote. When we experience claircognizance, we know that something is true without logic or physical communication. Claircognizance is the natural ability to know meaningful and pertinent truth. Here's my experience: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Claircognizant information arrives as a whole body experience of knowing for me. It may be different for you as you explore. For people who are skeptics and contrarians, this concept of knowing is nearly, if not impossible, to grasp. That's because their version of knowing is thinking, and claircognizance does not involve thinking. I find claircognizance to be exceedingly helpful and a trustworthy companion. For example, I use claircognizance in my work. When I meet with someone, or when I think about meeting with someone who is a client, I know claircognizantly their limitations. I also claircognizantly know various suggestions that can work for them to ascend that hurdle and so they can grow. Now, many of you may relate to this ability on a smaller scale. For example, have you ever known that someone was thinking of you or needed help? Did you call them and then found out that that was true? Well, what I do works just like that, but with greater detail. And that's great. That's the good example. And it's wonderful in my work. The bad is another everyday example that you might relate to is knowing the weather. With all due respect to the weather people out there, my claircognizant knowing about the weather has proven accurate and may have saved my life. For example, I was preparing to drive a pal of mine 2 hours to attend a performance. The actual weather was beautiful, and I checked the weather predictions and it was clear for the coming days. But something inside of me knew that the weather will be, this is what I felt, the weather will be fine during the drive, but it's not what it seems. Take necessities for a night. And logically, I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt, even though there's no evidence, so why not? Well, my friend and I drove up to the mountains and we arrived at the theater and we were hit by a blizzard. It was the kind of big snowflakes that cover the road with like an inch of snow in about 20 minutes. And the snow was blowing in waves and in small tornadoes. I knew from my many years of snowy experience in Wisconsin that snowfall like that in an hour could add up to not being able to get out from where we were and having to stay at the theater overnight. It was a 2-hour performance and I did not want to be stranded. So this time, instead of checking the weathermen, I instead just checked claircognizantly. And I knew that we should go straight to a place to stay. I called and booked accommodations, and as we drove toward the stay place, we passed several cars in the ditch and an accident, but arrived safely. The next morning, we saw a deep blanket of fresh snow, and we learned that some of the people attending the performance the night before were stranded at the theater. All right, so that was the good and the bad. Here's the ugly. Claircognizance can be a double-edged gift. It can challenge and help us grow in confidence, knowingness, and independence. But learning isn't always easy because other people may misunderstand and they may be frightened by what we know and how we know things, and they may criticize us or rebel against the truth. So the question is, will we stand in our knowingness or will we back down? It's up to each of us whether or not we'll put up with controlling, diminishing, dismissive behavior. If we are in this circumstance, I'd like to lovingly pose a question to you. It's the same question I posed myself years ago during an era in my life where I put up, shut up, hinted and alluded at truth, prayed for change, hoped for the best, and then waited and waited and waited. Here's the question. Are you ready? How dumb do I have to become to pacify this person? When I asked myself this question, I was angry. Then I laughed at the stupidity of the whole thing. And then I cried because I knew I would have to change. As the old saying goes, there are only two things that are never ending: the grace of God and the foolishness of man. Well, I found that there was no end to the dumbing down in my situations. It was never enough, a bottomless pit, a never-ending story, and my own dumb version of hell. The fantastic news is, by choosing my knowing over attempting to pacify people's insecurities, I became more confident and my knowing grew even stronger. So here's how you can do some DIY on your confidence. And for those of you who don't know what DIY is, that's do it yourself. If you're in this situation, consider approaching your confidence about your claircognizance like a DIY home remodeling project. Apply copious amounts of Home Depot's motto, which is,
You can do it. We can help.
and in this situation, we at Will You can help and want to see you stand strong in your knowing and truth. And indirectly, like a thorn in our foot can teach us to wear shoes, the stubborn people in our life are helping us to be confident and stand in our knowingness. So what's the difference between claircognizance and make-believe? From my perspective, if you're wondering if it might sound nuts to know things that don't make sense, well, don't let fear hold you back from knowing what's true, because most things we don't know. We live on a planet which is a ball of spinning dirt, and it has gravity and keeps us standing or sitting and all these wonderful things. We don't know how that works. That's not logic. Most of what is and is run in ways that we don't understand by logic. So it's best that we open up to what that is because it makes everything work. So here's what I've gleaned about the difference between claircognizance and make-believe from my 50 years of experience. The difference between making things up and knowing true intuitive messages is grounding. Now, what I mean by grounding is that it's grounded in reality. For example, a reality-based, grounded, claircognizant, intuitive message will not be accompanied by fear, desire, or emotions, and will not be accompanied by mental constructs such as anxiety, paranoia, escapism, excitement, drama, guilt, pain, shame, and any resulting psychological disorder. Grounded, claircognizant messages will not instruct us to do immoral, customarily defined as criminal acts. Rather, when one receives a claircognizant message, it's like hearing clear statements as facts. It's like a math equation. It is what it is, and the messages are what they are, and that's it. So if you're feeling fear, desire, or any emotion at the moment that you receive the information, it's not claircognizance. So are you claircognizant? Here are 9 tips to know. There are lots more, but try these on for size and see if any fit you. Or you could find your own. 1. You know and can predict things that come true. 2. You rarely explain your knowingness to others as your past taught you that it doesn't help. 3. You give others credit for knowing what you know to find out later that they were unaware. 4. You know instantly if it is possible for you to work with, be friends with, sleep with, or have a long-term relationship with someone. 5. You are good at foretelling how situations will play out in general. 6. You don't wait to act until other people figure out what you know. 7. You feel plagued with having to take 5 steps back to explain claircognizant ideas that make life better since no one else is on the same page of music as you are, so to speak. 8. When you imagine a person, place, or thing, you instantly know their state of being. And number 9. You know other people's truth, feelings, and physical state when they don't, due to denial, fear, or control. So why would we ignore claircognizant truth? We may ignore claircognizant truth if we feel inherently afraid of losing control. We may be in our limited mindset and only want the thoughts that our mind generates to get our attention. We might also feel afraid of the vast capability to know anything and the sheer vastness of the amount of information available. And we might be afraid of whatever we may need to change once we hear and know the truth. Because fear keeps us stuck. Maybe no one we know talks about intuition or intuitive guidance, and we're afraid of being different. Maybe we're afraid of being ostracized for our ability to know clearly. Maybe we're afraid that other people will think or say that we're crazy or wrong. Well, if we're focused on those things, we'll be stuck. Instead, we can focus on our curiosity about the real, interesting, limitless truth available to us through intuition and the new people, places, and potential to which it leads. So at what age will we free ourselves from the bondage of what other people think? As Gandhi said, quote, "We must be the change that we wish to see in the world," unquote. We can't all just talk about how great it would be if everyone else around us would stop impairing themselves with fear, denial, drugs, alcohol, food, phones, video games, etc. If we actually want to be real and honest and connect with other real, honest people, animals, intuitive information, etc., someone has to do it. And that someone is me and a lot of other someones whom you are yet to meet. So the question is, will you? Intuitive, claircognizant information is available to each of us. The clear knowing that is available to us by means of the Holy Spirit and God within us needs to be uncovered, honored, and cherished. When we connect to all truth via any or all of the sources of intuition, we live in the expansive possibilities of learning an infinite perception of ourself and life. This type of open knowing and perception allows us to see and be in meaningful and joyful ways. Why ought we develop our claircognizance? Claircognizance gives us a real, powerful edge to know what was, is, and will happen. It brings us vital information. It might forewarn us of a car accident. It may inspire us to take positive action or do or say something that could lead to a wonderful, joyful, meaningful experience in life and love. It's a solid, stable connection to truth. And it's a powerful sense of peace. Personally, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. As a matter of fact, I've given up a lot of things so that I could maintain it. So is it possible to hone our claircognizance and access more information? I have found that with practice, yes, it is possible to hone our claircognizance and other forms of intuition, even amidst chaotic external circumstances. In the beginning, it can be challenging since being disconnected from intuition is a habit that needs to be broken just like any other addiction. And that's the way we need to treat disconnection, like a bad habit that kills our satisfaction, peace, happiness, and connection to ourself, others, and everything. Here are 15 ways to explore and develop claircognizance. There are innumerable ways to hone, so try some of these and see what works for you or find your own. Number 1, be aware. That means not doing things that make us unaware, such as alcohol, drugs, TV, video games, unhealthy food, spending time in low-vibe environments, etc. These limit or block our ability to receive. 2. Be open to receive. That means allowing truth, not fearing it or desiring a specific truth. 3. Accept it. That means knowing it fully. It means not limiting our capacity for truth by fearing, denying, repressing, and/or suppressing. 4. Do something with it. Because just like you, if you regularly offer advice to someone who never applies it, you stop offering it and walk away. I've found that the same is true of intuitive guidance. It's not gone, but if I don't use it like a muscle, it atrophies. 5. Practice makes confidence. Keep exploring and noticing what you notice. Allow yourself to be inwardly pleased about your choice to learn. 6. Develop the other forms of intuition. By using many forms together, it's validating and solidifying, providing even more details and greater accuracy. 7. Take care of ourselves in general. The healthier, happier, and less stressed we are, the more open we are to new information. 8. Trust that we are cared for, protected, and it's okay, regardless of what information we receive. 9. Ask internally before sharing claircognizant information with others, because at times the information is just for you, and people may not be at all ready or willing to hear what we have to say. Number 10. Accept that other people may not understand and drop the complex about it. To use an everyday example, whatever your expertise may be at work, you don't expect people to understand the technicalities of it, do you? Then stop seeking validation about your intuitive gifts as well. Number 11. Know, respect, and fulfill the highest purpose. Like any tool, intuitive gifts may be used to spread education and enjoyment, or fear and destruction. Choose well, because secrets are temporary and consequences cannot be avoided. Number 12. Don't try. Trying is born from a fear of not being capable. Instead of trying, simply allow ourselves to freely receive intuitive information without fear or criticism. And 13. Affirm. Are we ready to affirm this together? I release what blocks me from knowing truth. Perfect. And number 14. Meditate. Because it's like vitamins for the body. It's a blanket of protection from stress, maintains health, and reduces the stress that can block us from hearing intuitive guidance. And number 15. Spend time in nature, not thinking. Because it can help us to know the truth between the sounds. It's a great place to practice. Support for learning in live Zoom meetings is here. There are lots more tips such as breathing, nutrition, exercise, sleep, self-care, etc. And there's a whole lot of great information available about the topics of claircognizance and intuition. Doing it alone can be challenging. Join us for live support via Zoom every Friday from noon to 1 Eastern Time. We'll meet to share the intuitive experiences and questions that we've encountered during the week as we applied the tips to hone our intuition. Now, if you're opposed to group learning, join anyway. The lessons you'll learn by listening to the exploration and experiences of others will be invaluable. Also, it's a place that's free of judgment, criticism, and bullying, so you're free to experience and share without fear. And I'll be leading the meetings to give extra tips and tools, making sure that no one's storytelling takes over the meeting. I'll also make sure that we stay on task, and I'll spur you on to grow. And group meetings are much less expensive than one-on-one mentoring. So to register, click Group Growth via Zoom in the description box and donate at least $30 a month to attend all meetings for as long and as often as you wish, and you may cancel at any time. So get registered and get on the ball. Just go to the description box and click Group Growth via Zoom. I also recommend reading Laura Day's book titled Practical Intuition. It's the first book I used as I began developing my intuitive abilities in my 20s, and it's helped me tremendously. It's easy to read and has fun exercises. To buy the book, you can find a link in our description box. So, will you hone your claircognizance? We'll take a 60-second break to turn it over to you to consider. When we come back, we'll hear what the crew has to say about today's topic and talk tips and tools to be more claircognizant by means of Mother Nature.
The Will You Grow Show will now take 60 seconds to check in with you. If you're wondering how to apply a Grow Show topic to your life, here's what people say about mentoring with Angelique.
One of Angelique's gifts is, first of all, to be so in touch with herself and with nature that she can see what truth is, that I think maybe can escape people at times.
She looks right through you and sees what's inside of you.
I think she just sensed that I was very uptight with my emotions, and she's been able to guide me and help me know those emotions.
This is your girl. Self-care is not selfish. If you really want to dig deep and stop living on the surface, then schedule a conversation with Angelique.
Introducing something new from Will You Grow? The Group Grow Show discussion. Join Angelique each Friday at noon Eastern Time to discuss your questions about the show topics and ways to apply the tips. To register, just go to the description box, then click the link for Group Grow. Give your gift of $30 per month or more, and we'll email you a thank you, along with a link to join the Friday meetings. We look forward to seeing you at the new Group Grow Show discussion. If you'd like to buy the book Angelique described in today's show, it's available to purchase by following the link in the description box. By purchasing through that link, you will be supporting your own learning, the publisher, and Will You. Just click the link in the description box to buy your book about practical intuition.
Welcome back! And now let's hear what the crew has to say about today's topic.
Claircognizance. I always thought my mother was claircognizant. She knew everything before it was going to happen. I think maybe she was, but no, I don't think obviously she didn't buy into any of what we're talking about. Her generation just is too quick to brush it off. But, I mean, literally, she would call me and say, "Are you all right?" And I went, "I got a little cold. I just felt something that you were sick or something. I'm just calling to check on you." So I just chalked it up to moms know everything. But I think deep down maybe she was, and she didn't do any of the tips, but maybe she just had a sense.
Sure.
When you had 6 kids,
Mm-hmm.
all of these intuitive things would come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that many kids, but
And you were the fruit of her loins, so you were connected.
oh, very much so. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, that's my experience with. How about you?
A parent can't let on all the stuff they know, Neil.
Oh, no. Oh, I know.
That's
I'm a parent. Keep it inside. No. Let it out slowly.
For the last 2 weeks, both Ben and Neil have made commitments to their own personal growth as related to becoming more open to their intuitive gifts. To catch everyone up, 2 weeks ago, Neil committed to meditating 5 minutes daily. He succeeded, and he learned that it was peaceful, that he would like to do it longer than 5 minutes, and that he was a bit bothered by some anxiety. Last week, he committed to meditating for more than 5 minutes daily. And 2 weeks ago, Ben committed to not blocking his intuition with alcohol on Mondays. He succeeded and opened himself to several experiences that he said he would not have had if the blockers were involved. Ben committed to once again not block his intuition with alcohol on Monday. So let's see how they did.
Ben? No, I'm just kidding. I did a longer meditation. I didn't time it. I don't want to time it, because that just feels like you're trying if you set a timer to it. So I didn't want to time it. So I just felt like maybe 15 minutes. And again, it was very, very peaceful. I tried to block everything noise-wise and everything. I even wore my noise-canceling headphones to try and block out even Rudy coming up to the door and going, "Hey, what's going on in there?" So,
Rudy's your dog.
Yes, Rudy's my dog. Not some random person just coming up to my door. He's my dog. But I didn't sense anything, because, I'm being honest with everybody. I'm new, and so is Ben. We're both new to honing our intuition and accepting these intuitive feelings. So I've yet to get there, but it will happen. Because the more I do, the more tips I add. Because I want to try and add. Stop saying try. Stop saying try.
Don't point at the wheel.
No, I'm pointing at myself, because I can see myself in the camera. In the screen, I'm pointing at me. You right there. Stop crying.
It's like namaste. I see
That's
myself
right.
in you.
Get that word out of my brain. Like meditating in nature. Because I enjoy fall. I love fall. And I love spring. Summer, I'm not into the heat so much. Heat stroke doesn't really appeal to me. But I love this time of year. And so it's time to get Rudy the Wonder Dog. And both of us go out, take a walk, and just sit.
Yes, that sounds
growth.
lovely.
Committing to growth.
Committing to one day
Yes.
of a drive next week, this coming week.
Yes.
Okay, and sitting
And just
noticing.
eyes closed and...
Great.
Yeah.
Exciting. Okay, I have 2 more questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
First is, do you notice anything that has shifted or changed in you since you started?
Not yet. I have not. But I'm still new to this, so...
That's all wonderful. Whatever your answer is the right answer for you.
Right.
Sometimes it's nice to have someone who's outside of you notice what you don't notice about yourself.
It's true.
Okay?
You're your own worst critic.
I'd like to share something that I've noticed.
Oh, okay.
There was fear before
Sure.
about the idea of doing it.
Oh, yeah.
You could see it in your face. You could feel it in your body. The movements that you were making, too, of avoidance, not wanting to even talk about it. And at this point, I don't know if you can feel it, but your shoulders are back farther. When we talk about it, your head is up taller, because this is my perception. You have a way to relate now. You've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that there isn't something to be afraid of.
Right.
You're exploring.
Right. You're right. It does help to have another perspective.
It does.
Yeah, because you're not... 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to see.
And most often, unfortunately,
Yeah.
we were raised to look at what we're not doing
Right.
rather than congratulating ourselves for what we
What
are
we are
doing.
doing, yes.
Okay. Yes. And
Pat
the
on the back.
other question I had was, last week you recognized some anxiety feelings that were, bugging into your meditation. What was
Bugging
that?
me, but not... It never impaired me. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
never... I never dwelled on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's there, so I try to just close my eyes and try not to dwell on the small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good advice for everybody.
Well, that's true. That's true. So I mentioned that if you wanted to address how to ferret those out, basically how to be in control of your thoughts rather than your thoughts, which generate anxiety, controlling you, that we could talk about that. And then you would decide today whether or not you wanted to address that and have like a session to talk about the thoughts and working on that, or if you wanted to just take another week of exploring on your own. And either answer is still progress.
I want to explore on my own and see what I can.
Awesome. See what you see.
See what I can see myself.
Well, we'll all be excited to learn about that.
I'm always willing to do it myself first. DIY.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll let you know what happens. I'll let everyone know what happens.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. All right, Mr. Ben.
This week, I have nothing new to report, but maintaining my commitment to non-blocking Mondays and looking forward to sharing how that goes this week on our next show.
I am, because you had a great story last time you did this, so I'm interested to see what you have for us next time.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, guys. That was wonderful.
Thanks.
It's like, you did that one. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, it's metaphysical tool time. Today's tools are all about trees. Today's tools consist of a healing stone, plant, and flower. As always, the information included is for educational and entertainment purposes only and are not a substitute for medical advice. As always, you are fully responsible for your choices. We do not encourage the worship of any healing tool mentioned in this or any other video. We encourage everyone to appreciate the divinity within everything. Let's begin with today's healing stone. It's actually a resin that's considered a stone. Ben, what can you share with us about amber?
The following information is from trulyexperiences.com. Contrary to popular belief, amber is not a true gemstone. In fact, it's fossilized tree resin that can range in age from 30 to 90 million years old. This resin is generally found in ancient evergreen trees. Amber crystals are prized for their warmth and beauty and have been carved into jewelry pieces and home decor and traded amongst cultures for thousands of years. The oldest piece of amber ever discovered is estimated to be about 320 million years old. Younger amber stones, which yield much lower values, are less than 100,000 years old. Generally, amber is a golden or brown color, and it is considered to be restorative and soothing. Amber can be found all around the world, but the largest deposits used for jewelry making and scientific research can be traced to the Dominican Republic, Europe's Baltic region, and Myanmar. Interestingly, each region where amber is found represents a different era of the planet's geological past. It's estimated that amber from the Dominican Republic is between 16 and 20 million years old. Baltic amber, which typically includes flies, ants, and lizards, is approximately 40 million years old. Burmese amber from Myanmar is roughly 100 million years old. The most valuable amber is Burmese amber, as it's the oldest known to man, and is generally much richer in color. Yellow amber is the most affordable, with golden amber fetching higher prices. Amber that has reddish tones is the most valuable, as it's believed to be much older. However, oxidation may cause the stone's color to change over time too. The rarest color of amber crystal discovered is actually blue. Blue amber is almost exclusively found in the Dominican Republic, and it changes color when under a fluorescent light. The fluorescence inside of the stone will react to it, and the stone will appear a dazzling shade of bright blue. However, if a white light is shown on it, the same rock will appear yellow or brownish. Amber resin is not the same as ordinary tree sap. This resin is sourced only from a specific special kind of tree. The fossilization of amber crystals can be traced back to the Tertiary period of time, making them at least a few million years old. To test the authenticity of amber stones, Drip acetone nail polish onto a sample piece. If it turns the liquid the color of amber or gets gooey, it's likely fake. Acetone won't harm authentic amber. What makes amber unique is that it can often contain animal and plant fossils. The animals are most commonly mosquitoes and other insects that have become trapped in the soft, sticky resin and fossilized over time. The meaning and benefits of amber are as deep and long-standing as the tree itself. It can relieve headaches and clear the mind and stabilize mental health by balancing emotions, eliminating fear, dissolving negativity, developing patience, and welcoming wisdom. Anyone can wear amber crystals, and they're highly recommended for those seeking a release of fear and anxiety, mental clarity, and protection against erratic emotions.
Thank you, Ben. Our healing plant is altogether common, extraordinary, and meaningful. Neil, would you share with us about this plant and its pertinence to today's topic?
Today's plant is the tree. Yes, you heard me right. Trees. They are, in fact, plants. We learn something new every day here on the Will You Grow Show. The following information is from wikipedia.com. In botany, a tree is a perennial plant with an elongated stem or trunk supporting branches and leaves in most species. Trees are not a taxonomic group, but include a variety of plant species that independently evolved a trunk and branches as a way to tower above other plants to compete for sunlight. Trees tend to be long-lived, some reaching several thousand years old. Trees have been in existence for 370 million years. It is estimated that there are some 3 trillion mature trees in the world. Trees play a significant role in reducing erosion and moderating the climate. They remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store large quantities of carbon in their tissues. Trees and forests provide a habitat for many species of animals and plants. Tropical rainforests are among the most biodiverse habitats in the world. Trees provide shade, shelter, timber for construction, fuel for cooking and heating, and fruit for food, as well as having many other uses. Trees have always been revered with sacred groves in various cultures, and they play a role in many of the world's mythologies. A sacred grove or sacred woods are any grove of trees that are of special religious importance to a particular culture. Sacred groves feature in various cultures throughout the world. They were important features of the mythological landscape of the Celtic, Estonian, Baltic, Germanic, Ancient Greek, Near Eastern, Roman, and Slavs, and continue to occur in locations such as India, Japan, and West Africa. The Lakota and various other North American tribes consider particular forests or other natural landmarks to be sacred. Singular trees which a community deems to hold religious significance are also known as sacred trees. A sacred tree is a tree which is considered to be sacred, or worthy of spiritual respect or reverence. Such trees appear throughout world history in various cultures, including the ancient Greek, Hindu mythology, Celtic, and Germanic mythologies. They also continue to hold profound meaning in contemporary cultures in places like Japan, Shinboku, Korea, Dengsan Namu, India, the Bodhi tree, and the Philippines, among others. Tree worship is core part of religions which include aspects of animism as core elements of their belief, which is the eco-friendly belief that trees, forests, rivers, mountains, etc. have a life force, or anime, or alive, and need to be conserved and used in a sustainable manner. Tsukiji no Usugi is an 1,800-year-old sacred tree in Japan's Nagano Prefecture. An example of the continued importance of sacred trees in contemporary urban culture is the 700-year-old camphor growing in the middle of Kayashimi Station. Locals protested against moving the tree when the railway station had to be expanded, so the station was built around it. The sacred banyan tree is the national tree of India, and the Bodhi tree, under which the Buddha is said to have meditated and attained enlightenment, is also revered as sacred. Walt Whitman said it best. It was his wonderful poem. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but his poem, Trees. Oh, the pleasure with trees, the orchard, the forest. Wonderful how the trees rise and stand up with strong trunks with branches and leaves. The slender, tapering trees, great columnar trees, the nodding, slumbering, and liquid trees, clustering trees, young and old. Trees in fullness of tender foliage, branching and leafing, the stalwart limbs of trees emerging, uttering joyous leaves of dark green. It's a very long poem,
Stop there.
and I'm going to stop right there.
Because the next topic is leaves.
There you go.
So, wow, good call.
Good segue.
Wow. And what a perfect transition, because today's flowers are what I call tree flowers. They are leaves. Tree leaves are symbols of growth, life, death, and rebirth. Each spring, leaf buds form, then unfurl into magnificent colors and waves of shade for our earth, humanity, animals, and its flowers and fruits. As the leaves turn colors in fall, they herald the change in season and remind us to prepare to go within for winter's harvest of inner knowing. When the leaves fall, they remind us to leave what no longer serves our greatest good. Whether it be our old mistakes, outdated beliefs, stagnating thoughts, hard feelings, or clutter, be it mental, emotional, or physical, it's up to us to let go. The leaves remind us to not cling to anything or anyone whose season has passed. For as much as we love the leaves, we cannot make the summer stay by gluing the dead leaves back onto the trees. When we let them leave, we allow space for new leaves to bud out and bloom next year. So, to sum things up, if we want to become more claircognizant, we can open up and allow more intuitive information to flow to us by not caring what other people think, by taking good care of ourselves, by decluttering, wearing an amber stone, and watching the awesome documentary about trees that we've linked in the description box. So what say ye? Share your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and let's learn to get more connected to intuition together. As always, we thank you for watching and sharing time with us. If you'd like some personal one-on-one support, schedule your complimentary conversation with me by clicking the link in the description box or go to willyougrow.com to learn more, and I'll look forward to speaking with you soon. And for now, we bid you adieu. Take excellent care of your fine self, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Always with love I send to you. From Angelique.
If you'd like to buy the book Angelique described in today's show, it's available to purchase by following the link in the description box. By purchasing through that link, you will be supporting your own learning, the publisher, and will you. Just click the link in the description box to buy your book about practical intuition. For more information about programs offered by Will You, mentoring with Angelique, and to watch video success stories from clients, explore willyougrow.com. If you or your company are interested in inspiring our mutual audience by sponsoring this or another of our programs, let's talk about it. Boost viewer confidence and trust in your company. Call 1-833-WILL-YOU, then press extension number 6. Make sure to click the subscribe button to get reminders before upcoming shows.